The Epstein saga never really ended, especially when it comes to Virginia Giuffre. She helped pull back the curtain on elite secrets, and now her suspicious fate raises more questions than answers. Are we looking at the truth, or just the cover story they want us to buy? Let's dig in and see what slips through the cracks. So the stories about Virginia Giuffre have come out, and as of April 24th, the word on the internet streets was that she chose to vote herself off the island. We did a reading about this before, just after her car accident, and it seemed like she was in danger, and perhaps she might have gone into hiding, and that was going to be an idea. Now we get this news that she has chosen to vote herself off the island. A quick little timeline, late 2024. Virginia Giuffre was recovering from a quad bike accident and appeared to be stable, doing fine. But, El Jefe's document release kind of kept her in the headlines there. January 2025, she alleges that her husband, Robert, did some very naughty things, and they separated. And Robert got a restraining order against her. Interesting. February 2025, Giuffre was charged with breaching the restraining order that her husband Robert put into place, and then there was a court date set for April 9th. March 24th, 2025, a school bus crashed into Virginia Giuffre, driven by some 71-year-old person. She posted on Instagram that she had like 4 days left. By the time I read on it, it passed 4 days. But the police called it a minor crash, saying there was no injuries despite her visible bruises, or at least the bruises that were seen on Instagram, who knows. April 7th, 2025, Giuffre was discharged from the hospital, saying that she was stable but still serious? No say. April 24th, 2025, this is when she supposedly is found passed away at her farm, and it's ruled the big old S word. And her 2019 X post says, "I never, ever, ever plan to vote myself off the island," if you get my drift. And her lawyer called her passing vague and shocking. So what's really going on here? That is what we're going to look into. Of course, all alleged for entertainment purposes only, although this is a topic that is not entertaining. This is psychic downloads. Might have some snarky opinions about the shadiness, but it is all alleged, not fact. We're going to use my true crime and conspiracy deck and the add-on. That's why we have 4 piles, because I cannot shuffle them all in one lickety-split move. I'm not like Superman hands. I'm only mini-man hands. So I did, if you saw, I posted a short, my first ever short. Quick pull on it. I got that she was still around. But let's get into it deeper. Maybe she's not. Maybe I was wrong. Who knows? Let's see what's going on with Virginia Giuffre. Or Virginia Roberts. And I saw some story too that said Prince Andrew can't ever come back now that this happened. I'm like, come on now. Like, come on. How stupid. Anyhow. Let's see. Wait, that goes here, not there. Good Lord Almighty. Let's see what we can get. Cleanup. How appropriate. Tunnel. Imprisonment. Well, it definitely is big news. That's for dang sure. And propaganda. All right. What else do we got? Oh, shit. All right. Let's continue on. Okay. Oh, timeline issue with this story. You don't say. Oh, saying this is a BS. You don't say. Oh, it's rumors. You don't say. All right, continuing on. Well, El Diablo, we've been waiting for you. You always seem to show up. Okay. Cryptozoology. Life insurance. Oh, that's an interesting part of it. Okay. Bones. I'm digging up bones. I'm digging up bones. How is Randy Travis doing these days? Anyhow, happy. DNA. Staged. Top secret. Top secreto. And there's a bad guy here. Okay. First thing I'm seeing here is I'm continuing on with my findings from the last readings. I don't think she's gone. I think she's hidden away. I think we have an issue, like something's coming up here and she's got to get out of Dodge. At the same point, it feels like this is more of get out of Dodge, like permanently or for an extended time. I'm thinking there's something here with the life insurance in terms of if this was for, I think she had kids. It's for somebody who's left behind. But this feels just like a big old cover up. Sorry, it does to me. Allegedly, my opinion. Having to get her out of the way. We're moving her outside of wherever she was. I guess she's in Australia somewhere. We got to get her out of here. We've transported her on the DL. She's in essentially like witness protection. I guess it could kind of feel like imprisonment because you're kind of stuck somewhere and you're kind of like not getting out of it unless you want to put yourself back in danger. But the whole thing here is coming up as BS. Okay? There's this idea, doesn't want to leave. There's apparently loved ones that she has. I don't know enough about her life. She has loved ones here, and it's like this is an idea of like, I don't really want to leave them, but I kind of got to leave them. There's some type of timeline issue here. We can probably dig into that because that feels kind of, but we're perpetuating a fraud upon what has actually happened. Now, I think there is, what I'm getting here is there's like, you know how a lot of people just seem to go missing and I don't know where they are. Nobody ever seems to find them. I think whoever was found at the scene is not her, but somebody else put in there. So we can have the authorities go through and say, yep, this looks right. Let's sign off on this. Like it's like a blink and you miss it, like not doing anything to really double check it's her. Now, this is interesting here with the DNA because I'm wondering what that is about because I think we've got a stand-in body, shall we say. We don't have to say. That's what I'm saying. That we have a stand-in body here. There's something here with the DNA, but like things are staged. And we have the bad guy here. And there's something here with that angle too. So what I want to like look into here is I want to look into bad guy. I want to look into the timeline issue, the things that stand out as most interesting. Life insurance, not so much. The DNA, though. The DNA, we'll tag that with the staged. I got the bad guy. Devil, obviously. We know about that. Well, I guess we'll look into her imprisonment. Because it seems like that's what we've got going on. Allegedly. All right. Hope you have your tinfoil cap on as I do mine. Let's continue here. Let's start with the imprisonment, since that seems to be witness protection info to me. How can we find out about this? It seems to be the timeline issue, which could also be a part of this. Virginia Giuffre Roberts. What can we know? Her chapter is complete on Earth. Okay. Because in the past, she was dealing with people coming up and trying to get her. Girl, you're in danger. We kept getting that. She is in danger. And, okay, so this is for her to, how do I want to say? Taking control of the situation. She's taking control of the situation. So this is how she's doing this. The concern here She can't ever go back home. Can't go back home. Energy underneath, starting over. Wherever she's moved, this is like starting over. I don't know where they're going to stick her and nobody knows her name, but the earth is pretty big. So there's probably a place they could stick her and nobody knows her name. Nobody would know anything about her. So I'm starting over. The fear that the rich, the elite, could still find her. The obsession, trying to avoid getting taken out by the demons. Got it? All right. Desires, driving ambition. Just leave me alone. I don't want anything you got. All right. The main obstacle here is how she walked away. How she voted herself off the island. Something hinky with it. You don't say there's something hinky with it. All right, let's pull out, let's get into then this, the timeline issue. What is that referring to? Because April 7th, she's discharged from the hospital. That's all the info I have. And then April 24th. So it's like March 24th is a car accident. April 24th is the passing. What's this timeline issue? Maybe there's some other timeline related to El Jefe that we're not aware of. Illusions. Okay. No one saw this coming. There's something. Okay, let me pull this. Okay. We have the whole smoke and mirrors here. No one saw this coming. This is an illusion. This whole thing is an illusion. There's something shady here. There was some other surprising information about to come out. I think that's where we're getting like some other thing behind the scenes that we're not privy to at the moment. Maybe never. Who knows? Something else here regarding the Eyes Wide Shut, the elites, the fancy people. People with all the money and the power in their minds. Anyhow, something here else is going to pop off. So it's almost I'm getting like she found out like, hey, this stuff's coming out soon. Like, I know a lot of people think that anything related to El Jefe and those files is not coming out. And I've done previous readings. You can go check it out. Spoiler alert. I still get that the information is going to come out, but it will be delayed because we're waiting for other things to happen. Now, at that time, I think I got that there was a very important woman that they were trying to bring into this, but not trying to vote her off the island. So I think there's some other woman that we're still waiting on for this timeline to then allow the files to drop. Anyhow, so there was some other surprising thing here that popped up. Okay, so now it's like we have to get her, Virginia, out of the way. We have to, because something here with the Epstein story is about to flip upside down, turn it around, and that the Eyes Wide Shut are not going to be able to control this. There's something about her at this point exiting that throws a major curveball in their thing. For them to control this, her out of the picture really makes it even harder for them. So I'm wondering if this is because, you know, if you're thinking, I'm not a lawyer, obviously. If you were thinking about a strategy, right? And everybody's like, well, we're going to pinpoint it on her because, you know, there's a lot of people that say, well, she was recruiting other people and she's doing all this stuff. And I understand that. At the same point, you also need to know the whole entirety of the situation and whether you want to say it's right or wrong. When you're put in a situation like that and you're thinking my only way to get out is to get someone to replace my position, it seems like I don't have a lot of choices. So that's what I'm going to do. Right or wrong, I'm not here to debate that today, but I'm just saying, meh. Anyhow, if the case is like we're trying to make it that she's the bad guy, that defense kind of goes out the window in some fashion or another. So by her exiting stage left turns their defense upside down. When we come here to the facts are the facts, ma'am. So I guess we just wanted to get her out of the way here. Because there's something else that's like indisputable. Not going to be able to pop it out. Oof, coming quick. Ooh. They need her out of the way. And it's almost like they did this quick. Like this was like, my opinion, always an option that they were going to escort her somewhere else on the down low. However, something else came in quick and they had to get her off the scene, the world stage, quickly. And there's something like, I think there's something happening behind the scenes in terms of this case. Legally. Not just document dump, I mean legally. And so this is like cutting off one of the exit routes, I guess. We'll say one of the exits for Eyes Wide Shut to escape, like they have in the past, from any type of justice. So I don't think that this was intended to happen when it did, as it did. Let's get to this DNA and the staged issue, which all seems to kind of follow in on that last question. What in the world am I doing? Lord. What's going on here with the DNA? I can't imagine it's DNA related to the case. I'd assume it's DNA related to who was there. But what do I know? Let's see what the cards want to say. Okay. I know there's some people who actually believe that all branches and all people who do their jobs are doing them as honorably and legally, lawfully, as they're supposed to be doing. However, in this case, no. So there's going to be some report that comes out. Here's her DNA report. It's just her. We confirmed it. I mean, she didn't look quite the same, but this is her. Look, we got the DNA. There's some type of phony baloney, Marilyn Monroe level type of BS going here in the autopsy or something. Why? Oh, shit, that ties in here. I think this is like cover. So, authoritydom, that's not a word. They are saying like, no, we checked the DNA, that's her. And it's like, so the people who love her would be like, meh, sad, right? She's gone. But this is also trying to get Eyes Wide Shut a-holes not to be on our trail, like trying to throw them off for a little bit or delay them in springing into action to finding her. And it's almost like, no, boss, I went over here to the morgue and they said that's her, or the science place, the science lab. I don't know. We went over there and we checked the report. No, boss, it said that was her for sure. And they're just like, I don't buy it. Get your people on the lookout. Okay. Look, those same two cards, just in a different position now. Okay. There's definitely concern about what did she leave behind in terms of information, evidence, testimony. I don't know if that can be used after someone's muerto. I don't know. But there's a lot here where this puts them on uneven ground and they're not sure about how the defense case would move forward, which we got in the last spread. All right, let's put that guy over there. Why is my camera so bouncy-douncy today? I do not know. So in terms of the staged, again, like I said earlier, I was getting like it's a delayed vibe. Delayed from tracking her down so quick. Like, she's gone. This whole thing, like, obviously they had to go find someone to be the stand-in, kind of, you get what I'm saying. She's already gone. So they're trying to hunt her down and can't because it feels like a quick, we heard this about this and how the eyes wide shut, and the Epsteins and all the ding-dongs are going to be reacting. We got to get her out. Go, go, go. That doesn't mean... Now, these guys are behind the 8-ball trying to find out where she actually went. Okay, let's bring over the bad guy. Let's see what are they thinking right now. Okay, so the theme is that she's... They've been struggling to get the truth of whether that is true or not, right? So this is where they're not sure. In the future, though, this is them just kind of moving into it. They're like unprepared. They don't know where they're going. They don't know where to look. They don't know which way to turn. This is like throwing them for a loop. Eek. Because Judgment Day is coming, and with her out of the picture, somehow this jacks everything up. And exposes a lot of stuff to them, about them, not to them, about them. Okay, their fear, they're not going to be able to work on a solution that's going to protect them. Their obsession, there's something, they're stuck on, like there's something from, related to her. This is why there's something with her in the past, some information, knowledge she had, or something that they wanted to use to essentially keep themselves out of jail. Their driving ambition. They want to stay safe. The main obstacle, there's something about her, without her as one of their things for defense, they're effed. So we keep getting that same story. Weird. Okay. Let's see if there was, maybe somebody had put an order out. Had anyone put an order out to get her? And that's why she had to be spirited away. Is that the right word? I don't know. Went to school in California. I don't know anymore. Let's see, was there an order prior to her official going away to get her? Yes, there was an order to get her. Okay, so yeah, they were already trying to get her. I think that goes back to the reading I did about the car crash. They were already trying to get her, so I don't care what they say in the news reports and all that stuff. News reports, as you find out 5 years later, are a bunch of donkey dust. All right, continuing on. So yes, they were trying to find her and get her, and she was worried because she knew that they needed her to be gone too. So that doesn't even make any sense. The bad guys want her gone, but that now that they took her out, were the bad guys going to do something to her before they finally voted her off the island? Let's see that, because she knew someone's after her. What was their plan? Let's ask that, because they wanted her gone too, but they wanted her gone. They didn't want someone else or herself, allegedly, to take her out. What were the bad guys' plans for her? Same idea. Bad guys wanted her gone. Oh, wait a minute here. That's kind of weird. Bad guys were eventually, they're going to get rid of her. But the idea here is there's some type of ritual they wanted her to be a part of. Isn't she like a little out of practice or something? I don't know. There's some type of weird ritual here. Why is this shaking all the time? Sorry. There was some weird thing here that they did want her for some type of ritual, and I don't know what the heck that means. I don't know that I want to delve too deep into that. However, this looks like there's something about wanting to bring her back with old Randy Andy, and I don't know why. Oh. Okay, so that before they were going to vote her off, it was like, I don't know if we'll call it a ritual, we'll call it a torturing, whatever. Whatever they wanted to do, it was almost like they wanted to hold their own court of justice, of El Diablo justice, with her. And there was some type of like, you know how they do. Before they vote you off the island, they get their freak on, they do terrible things, they use you, and then they're done with you. Okay, yeah, this was all about, we wanted to do some shady-ass rituals. Oh my, this feels very medieval, what they wanted to do to her before she was going to be disposed of. So I wanted to do something terrible to her. Again, almost like you betrayed all of us or something. Who knows? Who knows in these people's minds? Okay, so they wanted to get her, do some medieval things. Like, so weird. This is, when I saw this, I don't even know if that's a thing. Like a wooden round table that you spin and it's like some type of torture device. I don't know. Did medieval people do that? I don't know. That's what I saw. So they did want to get her. And they were after her, but they needed her for the defense. What is it they are hoping to get out of her? What are they hoping to get out of her? There's other things she hadn't exposed. Okay. You would think that they would know it all, though. There's other things that she didn't expose, and they needed part of that to move forward. What in the hell is this that she knows that they don't know? Unless it's something only she and El Jefe, Epstein knew. She knew something, too, that they needed. Like, she's the cat with the canary. They needed this for their legal defense. This would have turned their case upside down. I don't even know anymore. There's so many layers to this. This feels like some type of psychological thriller that my brain is not mentally prepared for. Okay. So, let's see how Randy Andy feels about her being gone. Because it looked like they wanted to hook him up for his last hurrah of demonology. Anyway, how's Randy Andy feeling about this? Maybe this doesn't even affect him. Maybe he don't care. He's so happy with Fergie. He's probably like, oh, I don't know, darling. I'm just hanging out with you and our tchotchkes. Who knows? Oh, wait. Oh. What? Sneaky snacker? Get on out. Stop it, you dummy. Stop it. Homie thinks that this is a way to vindication town. So whatever article I read was in Daily Mail and said, like, he's done now that she's gone. No effing way. This ding-dong dummy, Prince Andrew, thinks he's going to be able to use this to vindicate himself by saying, well, she had a guilty conscience. Of course she's gone. She knew the truth. She knew I didn't do this. She knew I couldn't sweat. She knew that I like to go to that pizza place. Okay. He thinks this is a way. Like, I don't know if he thinks he's going to get back his mom's money from that payout, and he thinks he's going to be living, like, homie thinks like he has been vindicated in the biggest way possible. Oh, he thinks he's going to be the savior to the royals. Oh, God, everybody's going to be looking. Oh, he's going to be picking out whichever stupid military outfits he wants. All the badges he can imagine. Oh, he's so excited by this. Oh, gosh. Yeah, he's hoping either Chuck or Big Willie style or whoever's going to come and say, like, here you go, Andy. Have it all back, all the glory. We need you so much. Come back. We miss your little schemes. Okay. These royals are kind of weird, man. I'm just saying. No, I love him so much. Get off my channel. All right, so Andy's okay. He's excited, but he's a dunderhead, so what can you expect? All right, let's look into Ghislaine. She's over there at the Club Fed. How's she feeling? What does she think? I don't think she likes this too much. No, she do not like this too much. Damn it, whatever it is that Virginia has, is the thing. Ghislaine was sort of counting on this too. There's something Virginia had. It was like everything you thought you heard, you didn't hear it because there was some other big ass piece to this. And Virginia was the like smoking gun somehow. Why it hasn't been used till now, don't ask me. I don't get it. But this was almost like why she hasn't rolled over on El Jefe. Why she's just over there and sucking it up. Virginia was a key to this. With her out of the picture, she's kind of bummed about this because this F's her up in terms of appeals or what getting out before her titties hit the ground. I don't know. It's going to fuck her up. So she's not too happy about it. I want to take the walk through the scene. I want to take a walk through the farm, right? They said she was found at her farm, near Gabby Farm. Before she's found, I want to see what's going on at the farm. Okay. A lot of intel has come in, and so we're looking into all the things and how this is going to affect everything, and we have to think about the future. Okay, so you've got some important secrets and information that you still have that can be very important in what's coming up down the pike. We need to keep you safe. Oh, God. This is like she's going to be very well taken care of. Essentially, like she's whatever they're moving her into. She doesn't have to work really, do anything. It's almost like she's being kept somewhere where they bring everything to her. Okay, so it's a deep secret that they're keeping her somewhere. They're working together on this. They have some creative idea for still using her, though, as an asset. That's interesting. Okay, so moving forward here, they're talking about, we're going to see if we can figure out how to balance this right. We're not trying to intrude on your life. This is what we're proposing. We know you've been trying and dealing with them on your own, but we're going to move you out of here. And at some point she gains her sovereignty. Like at some point she gets to get out of the rule of this, but it's almost like right now we got to bring you out. We have to bring you out because we don't want this case to go to pot. And I don't mean the Mary J. And so they're talking to her. They're having this conversation about what needs to happen. Okay. So they tell her that she's going to get moved. Okay. She's going to be sovereign. So how do we get from what's happening as they're talking to her about setting the scene in where she's supposedly found? What's going on there? How are we setting up the scene? How are we making this happen? There's that other lady. The doppelganger. Or the whatever lady. Yeah. This seems like don't ask me, but this seems like some type of tactic that is used, like an old reliable tactic of, society's forgotten. An old forgotten person, or maybe not old, but an old tactic that they use, right? Yeah, it's within the government. Okay, so they've already got the doppelganger selected. This one looks close enough. It's all good. This one's dead. All right, obviously. All right, so again, it's like working inside people, working together. We're going to keep this all covered up. Signing forms. Okay. They're calling in whoever's calling on the scene, who like the officials, the police, everybody that comes to a scene like this. They're calling in their favorites or their usual go-to guys that'll make things happen and go away and do whatever, right? To make it happen, to get all the legal ducks in a row. No problem. Okay, so then they bring in the lady. This one that's already been gone, picked for doppelganger, looks similar enough. They bring in this lady. They're staging the scene. This is where I think they're doing some, you know what? We don't really know, do we? I don't know how she was supposedly said she voted herself off the island. Whatever it is, the method, she would be disfigured enough that you would not be able to discern that it was her or not her. So, okay. I feel like that this is going to be a solid pass on by. We got our go-to guys who always come and do us solids when we're trying to cover up shit. This is all going to be done. No problem. No one's going to think twice. And then they got the DNA swab ahead of time. Allegedly, in my opinion, to get it in the bags or to get it into the lab to whatever. So it's like there's no pushback. This is a seamless process. Seamless process. Interesting. It's like the plug and play crime scene. All right. Let's look into when she's moving out the door. They're taking her. What does that scene look like? It's like, all right, we got the crime scene or whatever. The Muerto scene, that's covered. You got to go. So how does that process move? There is not a lot of time, and she's not taking a lot of things with her. And things just progress very quickly. She has like a handler. She may have had a handler in the past. I don't know. I haven't read on that. But she has somebody who's with her, like on top of her, taking care. Like this is she's a valued asset. She is being taken. Nobody's going to find her. So they got all these ideas about how they're moving her. This has been thought of for a while. Like this is like not just we whipped it up super quick, even though the action is super quick. It's almost like the backup plan's always been in place. They've always had it there. And okay. She's got like, there's more than one person actually with her. There's a team. There's like somebody who's like the more personal touch, but she had like, and I don't know what this is, like I've ever been in witness protection, police. But this is an idea that they have someone who's there with her to be on hand in case there's any psychological breakdowns or whatnot. There's also somebody there who's like this legal eagle type of person, making sure like the gateway access person, that they're like, I don't know, bodyguards, secrets, I don't know what they are. There's these like dudes. So we have the mental health professional, we have the legal eagle lawyer, whatever kind of guy, and then we have the person who's just there with her. Oh, okay. So this is very, like, I don't think she expected this to happen. Like they probably briefed her at some point in the past, but this like happened. And so she's very worried about all the different things about it. And they're trying to keep her balanced as they get her going. Okay. She's leaving without anything. Yeah, there's just a lot going on in her mind. Like her mind is just racing, racing, racing. She knows that they're going to put the story out there that she's gone. Okay. She knows something's coming down the pike that's taken out Eyes Wide Shut in regards, not completely. Eyes Wide Shut, I'm sure, is never totally ever going to be gone. But in terms of this case, there's some final nail coming to their coffin real quick. So she's made aware of that. But she's also very much like did not want to be pulled out of her life. Like, you got to go now. Yeah. That's... Gosh, what is this? I don't think I'm going to get it in this reading. They don't want to spit it out. They don't want to spit it out. All right. Let's see. Just curious. Let's just see the rest of the royals. We know how Andy thinks he's going to be vindicated or something. But let's see in Chuck, well, I don't think Chuck's here anymore. But Big Willie. Let's ask about Big Willie. Prince William. Okay. Heard about the news. Oh, why is he on the defensive? Because he's got Prince Andrew living in his house. He doesn't... I don't know. This is interesting because I've never heard anything about him. This gives him a fucking headache for Big Willie style. Not saying I'm a big fan because I'm not. But this is giving Prince William some big ass fucking headache here. There's something about this that he does not... It's almost like it just opens the door back open for scandalous things to come out. Not happy about this at all. Okay. Last, let's look into it and see, does she ever resurface? Does she ever come back as Virginia Giuffre Roberts? Or is it Virginia Roberts Giuffre? I don't know. Does she ever come back from out of hiding? You know, maybe 20 years down the road, and here she comes. Surprise, I'm alive. Oh. Okay. No. Not that we would see her come back and do some sit-down tell-all special. However, there's some type of like recordings or documents or testimony, something that comes back. It's almost like she comes back from being muerto to testify or share information or dead man switch or some type of shit. There is like... by her being gone, there's like all sorts of shit that comes out now. She has to be out of the way for this other like recorded type information to come out. Okay. All right. Well, I've had enough of this. So yeah. Until next time. Adios.